Hey everyone, I'm Rather Incoherent, and today we're finally getting Dream Eaters done on the channel. It's one of my favorite campaigns, and we're going to be starting today on the Dream side with Beyond the Gates of Sleep. Our characters for this side are going to be Leo and Daryl, and on the other side we're going to have Tommy and Stella, which will be a pretty nice parallel to these characters, but I'm going to be airing this footage a little bit differently than most campaigns. With most campaigns, I play Scenario 1, then Scenario 2, and obviously I air them in that order. But for this campaign, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the whole thing. I'm very far ahead in recording, so I can afford to do weird post-production stuff like this. I'm going to air the entire Dream side, and then after that, I'll air the entire web side. And I think that, disconnect is something that I kind of enjoy as being a part of a Dreamlands campaign, just thematically. But also, from a viewer perspective, it's just easier to keep track of the decks if you stick with one deck for 4 episodes and then switch over to the others for 4 episodes. Now, before we actually start with this scenario, let's go talk about what is in these decks. Our fighter in this scenario is going to be Leo. I would love to use In the Thick of It for Charisma on Leo, but unfortunately, he's a green character, so he has to take Kieran's Obel and Easy Mark. It's non-negotiable. So instead of getting Charisma, the deck's a little bit jankier at this low level. This is a fairly basic-looking Leo deck, I would say. We have 6 weapons. In my opinion, they are the best weapons. We aren't using Machete because he's in the Dream Eater scenarios. So if he ran Machete, it just wouldn't work if we got Zoogs, and there are plenty of Zoogs early in the campaign, so I'm a bit afraid of running something like a Machete on him. We have Hallowed Mirror because Leo's great at using it to heal because of his extra actions from things like Leo to Luca. He's not in the deck yet, but he will be eventually. Just when I only have 1 ally slot, it kinda needs to help me fight. And the rest of this is pretty basic. I'm hoping to use Contraband on 45 Thompson, get millions of bullets, and then just use 45 Thompson forever, but if I'm forced to use other perfectly acceptable weapons, well, they're perfectly acceptable. It'll be fine. The one weird thing you'll see is Breach the Door, and that's very specifically because it synergizes with my teammate, Daryl. Daryl's running... Oh, he's not running Shadow Light. That's right, I'm not running that version of Daryl. So I'm running Clue Dropper Daryl, which in Scenario 1 means I'm not actually running any type of Daryl, because it doesn't really fit in the deck. Without experience, the only clue dropping card I'm running is Research Notes, and you'll notice that one doesn't actually drop clues, so it does nothing. It's just a dead draw in this version of the deck. Might need to change out that Breach the Door. Honestly, Shadow Light is just such a good card that I'm putting it in the deck instead of Live and Learn, because even with just Daryl's ability and a Breach the Door, that's more than enough synergy to justify running this. As for the rest of the deck, like I said, it's not really a clue dropper deck right now. We've just paid our due with Research Notes. We'll be clue droppers later. We took In the Thick of It for Charisma so that we have Milan and Mr. Rook out at the same time. Mr. Rook means we have Expendable Soak, we're never going to die, we're going to be safe. He also helps us search out key cards like the Hawkeye Folding Camera and Empirical Hypothesis. So we can actually start building our evidence and not just, die to our weakness. And as for weaknesses, we have the 13th Vision over here on Daryl, and on Leo we'll be drawing Tarots every scenario because he has Damned. So before we get into it, let's see what our Damned card is for the day on Leo. We draw 1 card in reverse position, and that's it, right? Yep, no one else is affected by it. And our reverse position is... I had to rotate it over here. During my first turn, I have 2 less actions. Alright, easy enough. Done. I've just realized that in the new version of Tabletop Sim, I don't know how to add a draw 1 button because the little thing over here has been removed. So I guess I won't be using that this campaign. Oh well. Anyways, let's get into the scenarios. Let's start our opening hands. I think I'm hard mulliganing for specifically Mitch Brown, which is a little bit weird. But without Mitch Brown, I can't possibly have all my allies in play, so it seems like a reasonable thing to hard mulligan for, especially with a weak opening hand like I had. This is a good opening hand, like I've got economy and weapons, we're fine. But it's not what I'm looking for, really. And then over here, since I can't use draw 1, I'll use the deal command. Double Hawkeye, huh? That's pretty solid. Are we starting at a reasonable location? Now let's rotate this back to sensibility. It's 1 shroud, 2 clues. We can very easily get our Hawkeyes off the ground, huh? Probably keeping them then. I'm definitely not keeping these practice skills. Those are for practice makes perfect. And once again, I don't have a draw button, so it's gonna take a while to get used to that. Research Notes is useless, but at the very least we have practice makes perfect, and that's something. That's definitely something. So with all of that done, it's time to get started. Our first agenda has 19 Doom, and whenever you place Doom, if someone's at a steps location, place an additional Doom. And our act says not to draw cards from the Mythos deck from the Encounter deck during the Mythos phase, and once we get to Cavern of Flame, we immediately advance, but you'll see we can't go here until we get all 2 of these clues at the 1 shroud location. However, 70 steps does still have text. First, when you leave, take 1 horror for each card in your hand in excess of 5, and we can just discard cards voluntarily to deal with that. But, I mean, why would we need to deal with that? Let's just go. I played double Hawkeye folding camera for most of my money, and I investigate. And that puts me at just 5-1. There's not really a lot to think about here. We are playing on standard, as we always do. I get a clue. Over here on Leo, there's not really any rush to do this in a certain way. I'm just going to play an emergency cash, and that'll be it for us. Upkeep phase. Analysis isn't great. Reach the door will be great eventually. We have 1 Doom. Is this a step location? I don't believe so. It is a step location. Little did I know. Its name is 70 steps. You'd think I'd have clued in on that, but apparently not. I'm going to go first on Daryl. Daryl's going to investigate up 4. He gets the second clue, and both of these Hawkeyes will snap a photo. Out of curiosity, they don't exhaust. Theoretically, I could get more in this turn, but I'm not going to, because when I move to the next location, I will find that it has no clues and 9 Shroud. I remember this. And the new tabletop sim has these dynamic locations. I'm hoping these always work. I have my doubts of new technology, but it's very nice if it does work. Anyway, first at the end of the Mythos phase, each investigator in the Caverns of Flame takes 1 damage. And when we got there, we advanced immediately. So we're going to lose all of our clues. Goodbye, clues. And we're going to put Noshed and Common Thaw into play at the Cavern of Flame. They're both aloof enemies. We'll talk about them in a hot second. And we add a Skull token for the rest of the campaign. Skull token added. Our new act is that we do not draw cards from the encounter deck still, but our goal is to get rid of Noshed and Common Thaw, and once we do, we can progress. Now, they both aren't really difficult to kill. They're both aloof retaliate 2/3/2s, 1 hits for a horror, 1 hits for a damage. This one needs me to test Foot or Fist 2, and it gets +2 difficulty. So it's going to be a Fist 4 test on a Leo, essentially. And then if you flip him over, instead of killing him, you'll just get text that gets rid of him. Same thing here, except this one's going to be Book 4 instead. I'll go ahead and take that parlay. I use Practice Makes Perfect, and I'm looking for Perception, surprisingly. Hits both deductions and feels kind of bad, but it's fine. Hello, Perception. Yes, please actually leave the deck. So Perception puts me up from 5 to 6, 7. I'll beat the -4. I assume there is a -4 in the bag, right? Yes. So now I beat everything but autofail. Cool, didn't need to commit anything, but I'll get this Perception and draw a card. Wrong hand. Deep Knowledge is good to see. And having taken this parlay test, we can flip him over and read him, add this card to the victory display, and flavor text. So we're just done with that. Why did I flip 2 actions? I investigated, moved, and parlayed, because I took 2 actions. That would be why. Okay, over here on Leo. Leo's gonna catch up. Leo, I assume this is also a steps location. They're all steps until the Enchanted Path. Yep. I think I'm good to just play some guns. Like, I'm not in a major rush here. I'm gonna play some guns for all of my remaining resources, basically, and end the turn. Upkeep phase, overpower is nice. That'll make doing my test a lot easier next round. 4 Doom, because we're at a steps location, and that's it. I'm gonna take this parlay test. I'm gonna commit an overpower. I'm only up 2, which isn't great, so I'm going to spend an evidence over here on Daryl's ability, because it works on your team, because of course it does. He's part Seeker, why would he be fair? And that brings me up to 6-2, which is pretty solid. Cultist is -0. So we didn't need it. This guy is going to flip on the parlay, and we're going to add him straight to the victory display. Now that we've done that, we're going to advance. Before I forget, though, with Overpower committed, we draw a card. It's Mitch Brown, hot damn! Each investigator loses all their clues, not that we had any. Put the set aside 700 steps, base of the steps, and the Enchanted Path locations into play. Your slumber grows deeper, add another skull. Sure, why not? Second skull added. And there's this wonderful navigation helper where normally in the past I would notice Enchanted Path right at the bottom and that's not going to work. But now I can click move left, move up, and everyone shoots around except for us, apparently. We just sort of rotate and freak out. But hey, good enough. And it looks like the board needs a reminder that everything changed afterwards, so it's a little bit jank, but hey, it's good enough. Now, that was our first action on Leo. Sadly, our turn's already started, so we can't play Mitch Brown, but that's fine. I'm going to walk down to the next location. Oh, right, we both ended our turn there, so last turn we would have both taken a damage, and we both have In the Thick of It. What would we have taken our In the Thick of It damage as? I'd have taken it as 1-1 on Daryl. 5-7 feels safe, whereas if I go down to 6-6, then I get nuked for 2 horror. I'm a 6-4, that doesn't feel safe. Or sorry, a 6-2 rather. That doesn't feel safe at all. Right now I would be looking at a 5-4 with my weakness, so that's better. Over here on Leo, that's an easy 2 damage. Cool, now that I remember to do In the Thick of It trauma, we can continue. Our goal is to get to the Enchanted Path, which will be a little bit harder than we want it to be, because as we flip this location, it's got 2 clues. We were both good on hand size when we left, I believe. There was no reason we wouldn't have been. Anyways, when you leave 700 steps, take a horror for each card in excess of 3. That's just going to deal us a little bit of horror, it's fine. But to leave in the first place, we're still going to have to get the clues, so we can't do that just yet. I think last action, I'm going to draw a card. I don't need to play Easy Mark yet, because I have nothing to spend the resources on anyway. Then over here on Daryl, I'm going to walk down. I am going to investigate by playing Burning the Midnight Oil. I'm not going to commit anything to this because it's just an easy test. I'm already up 3. Hey, it happens. I'm going to investigate again. I'll take a 1 clue and end my turn. Upkeep phase, look what I found, and 45 Thompson. 6 Doom, because we're at Steps location still. Of course we are. No evil cards, because we just haven't actually put in an evil card deck yet. They're still hanging out. Yeah, I think I'm just going to toss Analysis away instead of taking the horror. And I'll use Crack the Case on this location. We investigate up 3. 0, take the last clue, and we'll snap a couple of photos for the gram. Putting us up to 4 head and 6 book. I should probably use the tickers, because they're both giving me +1 head, and I'm giving a book from the better one. Then I'll play Crack the Case for 2 resources. I'm not convinced I ever really need these resources on either of these characters. But I'm going to give it to this character instead, because I know I can play Milan, I can play Rook, I can play multiple Shadow Lights, multiple Look What I Found. I feel like I can go through that money pretty fast. I Lightning Bolt to throw away Analysis, and I walk down to the next location. At the base of the steps, we're looking at 3 Shroud, 2 clues. After you enter the base of the steps, you have at least 1 card in your head. Or in your hand, rather. Test your head, which is equal to the number of cards in hand. If you fail, for every one you take 1 horror, discard that card. So I'm testing 3 head right now. I'll give up that book boost I just got to turn it to a 1 head test. That's not an action. So I get -3, so I get 0 to 1. And this is just what Daryl does. So even though I failed by 3, I actually failed by 1 instead, so I'll take a horror or discard that card. I'm looking at it, trying to decide if I should take a horror or lose a card. Because I haven't found Mr. Rooks yet. But I've had evidence in play already, so my weakness can never deal 4 horror to me. I'll just take the horror. And I'll investigate. I'm only up 2 naturally, so it's worth committing a perception here since I haven't found Milan or anyone yet. Up 4. Hey, get wrecked, game. Wrong hand. Hey, Milan, look at that. Nice of you to show up. Next, on Leo, I'm going to come down. Do I want to discard stuff? Probably. Seems likely. I use Leo's ability. I play Mitch for 2. We're going to have to take a horror or discard a lot. With this in hand, I'm likely trying to play it at a later point with contrabands. Money will matter. I don't need to catch up right now. There's no Mythos cards, nothing really matters. I can afford to take it slow and play like an easy mark and see what I'm actually discarding with it. It would be an overpower. I'm really looking at tossing Breach the Door and Guts. Well, I've got Guts for the head test, right? And I can get another +2 there. I'd be testing at effectively 8 to whatever it is. I'm going to toss Breach the Door and walk down with 4, taking a horror on Mitch. And then when I get down here, I have to test 4, which is my hand size. I commit Guts to be 6 to 4. I burn something on this character. Oh, did it reset? Or did I do that? I hope I didn't do that. Or rather, I hope I did do that, because I really hope these things aren't resetting again. It's so frustrating when they do. Anyway, that's up 4. I'm testing 6 to 2 thanks to the ability on Daryl. 0, draw a card. Hey, Guts, nice to have you back. Take no additional failure. At 3 Shroud, there's really nothing to do here. I'm going to start refilling my hands. Hey, easy mark. Upkeep phase. Analysis, not really the best here. Faustian Bargain's pretty good. 8 of 19 Doom, and we're about to stop double dooming and start drawing encounter cards. But not just yet. I'm going to play Dr. Milan for not 4 resources positive, but 4 resources negative. And then I'm going to investigate at 6 to 3. That's just plenty sufficient. -2, I get the last clue. I get an evidence on both Hawkeyes, bringing me up to 6-7. That is... No. There we go. There's the problem. I, for some reason, thought, I see. I thought he had 3-head base. No, my base head's much worse than it is. It's 4-7. There we go. It hadn't reset. I just misremembered Daryl's stats because it's early in the morning and I'm bad at the game. Anyways, the evidence is nice. We can now move down. No additional text anywhere. That'll be my last action, correct? Yes. The Enchanted Path is connected to all the Enchanted Woods. It gets +1 trial for each unrevealed Enchanted Woods in play. And as a triple action, I can stay on the path and get 1 clue. Oh wow, I'm gonna get off the path, by the way. But first, Leo, you should come down too, and I think that advances now. It might be the end of the round. Immediately advance. Each investigator loses all their clues. Goodbye again. Glad I'm not playing Clue Dropper this scenario. It'd be very frustrating. Your slumber grows deeper. Add another skull token to the bag. Added. And remove each steps location from the game. Goodbye, steps locations. Now we randomly choose 6 of the Enchanted Woods locations to put around us, and we put in the encounter set. Anyway, Leo Anderson has no real ability to meaningfully help right now. Leaving would put him far away from Daryl. I'd rather set up. But I think Faustian Bargain. Daryl forgot to get his money from Milan. I think Faustian Bargain onto myself might be reasonable. I think just drawing cards looking for like Daring, Vicious Blow, Overpower is reasonable. I'm gonna draw a card at least once. I know that's what I'm doing after the Faustian Bargain. Cool, that's for next turn. It's most of my money, so I'll play Faustian Bargain now. Daryl has Milan, and I think that means he has infinite money and I shouldn't help him, so I'm gonna give all 5 to Leo. And I used that this turn. Upkeep phase. Oh, actually I didn't, but it doesn't matter. We have the dream. Once we run out of bullets in our current stuff, we can contraband the Thompson, which is nice. And Empirical Hypothesis is also very nice. It's a bit late, though. 9 Doom, and not 10 this time. Because we're finally off the steps, and we get to see our encounter cards. Is there only one agenda? There's only one agenda, so we have 10 turns to play out the whole campaign now. Or the whole scenario, rather. We got the Furtive Zoog. This is the exact reason that I didn't get Machete, because I knew this guy was in the list, and guys like him. He's a 3/1/1 with Swarming 1. He has Retaliate. And Spawn, engage with the investigator at your location with the lowest fist. Even less good for Machete than... Sorry about that, Daryl was trying to protect you by not being at your location. Crypt Chill, huh? I have a Guts from Leo that I can commit to this to go up to 6. And I can spend this evidence to go up to 6 to 2, up 4. They're not revealed, we're good. So I pass that, Leo draws a card. It's the other breach the door, like I said I have two, it's not like I need the second one. Glad I don't have Shadow Light yet still. I can probably shoot over, I just don't see the reason to take the risk. Like, I can just engage and swing with the Enchanted Blade without spending charges repeatedly. I'm gonna go first on Leo. I'm gonna play this Pete Cop for 3 using his ability. And then I think I'm gonna just do it the slow way. I'm going to engage for sure either way. It's at 3, I'm at 5 now. 6. If I use the gun, I fail on -4. If I use the sword, I don't. I'm gonna use the sword to beat the -4. And I just added a bunch of curses, so that also makes sense. Skull is half the number of cards in your hand rounded up. That's 3, I beat that. This goes on the bottom of our deck. This is dead. And last action, I think I'm just gonna cycle this easy mark. Look for some allies, some contrabands, a completely redundant second Thompson. Yeah, sure. Now over here, we need to find something to do. On Daryl, we're gonna walk down. We're not gonna find the Gug. After you enter this location, take 2 horror, lose all your remaining actions. Well, not great to go there first then. If I'd remembered that existed, I would have played Empirical Hypothesis before moving, and I could just end my turn and be sad about it. I'm gonna take 2 horror. 1 on Milan and 1 on me. I'm going to play Empirical Hypothesis. And I'm going to investigate at 6 to 3. That's actually better than succeeding. I play Look What I Found and get both clues. And then I get a money from Milan. Wait, no, I don't, because I didn't successfully investigate. Milan doesn't just give you money all the time, but I do get 2 photos, bringing me up to 8 book, which seems perfectly reasonable. I don't get anything from Empirical Hypothesis, though, because this only starts doing stuff on the start of the round after you play it. And I'm not going to declare what this is every round, because it's the same thing every single round. It's going to be succeed by 3 forever. Anyways, no enemies, upkeep phase. Hey, second Empirical Hypothesis, how are you doing? Daring's good, though. 10 of 19 Doom and Evil cards. we have Prismatic Phenomenon. It's in my threat area. The first time I draw a resource or play each round, it costs an additional action. After you successfully investigate a location instead of discovering clues, discard this. Huh, that's gross. Gonna need to find like a one-shroud location, I guess. I guess I can make my own, can't I? Not really the worst thing, though. I can deal with that. Oh. You just add this location. I guess Leo's coming down, then. Leo goes first. Leo comes down. Leo is going to attack this thing with Daring and a Vicious Blow. This puts us at 4, 5, 9 to 3. I don't need to commit anything, so I shoot it with a gun. So that puts me at 3 damage if I succeed, and I only fail on auto-fail. That'll be 3 damage to him. And I'm going to draw a card off Daring. And I'm going to shoot it again. We're at 5 base, 6 to 3. I use the sword to beat the -4. Skull, that's -1 presently. He's dead. Thanks, Leo. I've been doing a real bad job of not drawing the enemies on Daryl so far, but it's fine. It's fine. Now, on Daryl, what are we doing? We're in Succeed by 3 mode from here on out. I think I'm moving twice. If I find the Gug, that's not actually great. If I play Deep Knowledge, what can I do? I can like play Deep Knowledge, hit a Mr. Rook, and play the Mr. Rook. Is there any other asset I can hit and play? Nope, it's just Mr. Rook. If I play Deep Knowledge and don't hit Mr. Rook, then I'm just still walking into a location and being sad. Or I'm drawing a card manually. I'm gonna move back as my first action, and then there is a 1 in 6 chance I hit the Gug. If I hit the Gug, then I get slapped by the Gug. Well, next turn, if I, like, it's the same thing though, right? Because Leo moves twice and then doesn't kill the Gug. So I just have to take this chance this time. I'm gonna move in. This Enchanted Woods is a 4/2 location. As an additional cost to leave, choose and discard a card from your hand for each clue on this location. That's fine by me. I wasn't really planning on leaving clues here. Huh. I mean, I'm up 4, because I just got ridiculous numbers. So I investigate, because it might get me an evidence. Yeah, sure. Empirical Hypothesis gets an evidence, I get a clue, I get a money as well, thanks Milan. I'm thinking if I want to use these to draw cards, my hand is pretty slim. I don't need to yet, so I won't. Upkeep phase, another look what I found is great. Easy Mark is... I played the other one already, right? Yeah. But it's still a good card. 11 of 19 Doom and Evil cards. Oh, apparently I double drew, so this first one is the one I drew here, and then this is your card. We are not at the same location, so this one will actually spawn with me. Here's your Swarming card. And over here, we have the Stealthy Zoo. It's also Swarming 1. It's Alert instead of Retaliate. Instead of being a 3/1/1, it's a 1/1/3. Daryl can technically kill this himself. Like, I can just punch it at difficulty 0 a lot. I don't want to, but I can. Let's go first here. There's no way Leo ever saves, right? It would be move, move, shoot, but I've got my own guy. I'd take 7, 8 damage from doing that. So I've got to deal with my own problems, unfortunately. I'm just going to swing twice and move. There's like not a reason to make this complicated. I'm just using this. I'm not consuming resources. Yeah, I'm just going to shoot twice and move. So that puts me at 4, 5, 6 to 3. I fail on the -4 though. This is why I like the Thompson so much. It gives me +2 forever. Fine, I don't swing twice. I just use the charge. He's dead. This card's on the bottom. Second action, I move back into the middle. I can't actually help Daryl this turn. I have to decide between playing an automatic over the Enchanted Blade or playing a 45 Thompson over both of them and hoping to play Contraband next turn. I'm just gonna play an Easy Mark this turn. Cool, it turned into more money. All right, Daryl, did I forget to get evidence from this? I investigated this at 8 book because I knew it could give me evidence here, which means these were already filled, and I forgot to do this, so I forgot to do that. Cool. And then that means I can pretty freely spend the sanity points of evidence one after the other to punch twice against difficulty 0 on both punches. Doesn't matter what I get as long as it doesn't say auto-fail. My thing is dead. What's this do? I get an evidence. Oh, I've been forgetting to use Daryl's Kodak, haven't I? I was just so programmed that it doesn't exist in the first half of the scenario. We can all agree, right, that if I had remembered this was here, I'd just take a picture of the guy that's going to die this turn, and then it doesn't matter anyway, because I'm not getting a clue before he's dead. Should probably start using the Kodak, though. I don't know if I've actually missed any real chances at evidence. If I'd taken a picture of this when I was down here, I might have been able to get something. I don't quite remember how that played out. But we should start using that Kodak, that's for sure. Anyway, 8 to 4 seems like good numbers. Whatever. At least it wasn't on the rats. So that's Daryl. Leo's already went. We're done. Upkeep phase. 12 Doom. Oh, wait a second. I don't think I got succeed by 3 anywhere because my numbers are genuinely terrible. I should have been paying attention, though. The numbers actually did matter. Anyway, after the 12 Doom evil cards, Obscuring Fog on the middle. Oh, no. Now, whenever I investigate, I either take a horror or it gets +2 Shroud. Might not be investigating for a round. Just gonna leave this in front of Daryl because he's the one who actually cares. I can just, like, play Deep Knowledge, Investigate, right? If I'm doing that, I should investigate first, and I'm only up +2. Oh. Yeah, 4 + 2 is 6. I've got 8, so I'm gonna investigate it +2. Half the number of cards in your hand rounded up. That makes me so sad. Because if I hadn't already gotten a clue, I could just play Look What I Found. It's fine, though. I play Deep Knowledge, for sure, for my second action. Just like, I need new stuff. Ruined Film, Catastrophe Strikes. My book plummets. Oh, right, I just talked about using Daryl's Kodak. Let's imagine I took a picture of my thing that I have, like a sensible person would. I'm going to burn the Midnight Oil. I'm going to practice Makes Perfect, and this time I'm going to take a horror from Dreamland Eclipse instead of giving it +Shroud, because I'm only at 6 book now. So I'm currently at 6 to 4, and we're going to search our top 9 to find probably Deduction. We can also take Perception, but that seems wrong. I'm going to take the Deduction. Oh wait, the Deduction doesn't actually do anything in this case because there's only 1 clue left, it's only getting half value. Perception will draw the Deduction eventually anyway. This puts me at 8 to 4, it beats all the tokens, that's very important. I'm going to commit Analysis here because I kind of really need to pass this. So if I get autofail, I am willing to drop a clue to make sure that I get this. Just because it's worth evidence, like 2 of it, if I do succeed. And Analysis isn't very valuable in general in this situation, I think. Well, like I said, I'm willing to drop a clue. I'm not finishing the location now, but I am getting Perception out of it, and I am getting Milan money out of it. Did I shuffle that deck? I think that's unshuffled, but I really don't know. That's definitely a worse draw now. Anyway, because I do successfully investigate, we get the Perception, we draw the card, we get this clue on Daryl's Kodak because we snapped the picture of it. Actually, I can get unlimited clues per turn, it's just only putting 1 down, right? Yeah. So it should still be exhausted, just not the way I thought. I didn't pay attention to what number I actually got. I have to check the footage to see if empirical evidence, or hypothesis rather, should have an evidence. I got a 0, so empirical hypothesis does in fact gain an evidence. And that's it for us, so upkeep. I should probably take Leo's turn, huh? Apparently I didn't. So at Leo's turn, we're gonna play another Beat Cup thanks to Mitch Brown's new ally slots. That'll be 3 of our resources. I'm gonna spend 10 resources to toss these in the garbage. No, not quite. Thanks lagging out game. Or thanks for lagging out, rather. I'm gonna play this Contraband and this Thompson down to 2 money. And this is no good. You need to be grouped up into a big comical tower, because that's just much, much funnier. Anyway, we now have 10 bullets. Just doing the Leo thing. And I'm gonna go ahead and play Emergency Cash, gain more money. I don't want to move ahead, be further from Daryl, that could be bad for us. And then we take Upkeep on Leo, like we were supposed to a second ago. This discards at the end of the round. 13 of 19 Doom and Evil cards. So I really, really need to avoid drawing resources or playing cards. My understanding of what this means is those specific basic actions are what it's referring to, and that doing something like playing Emergency Cash does not cost an additional action. I get mixed up every time I see this specific terminology. It usually happens in Carcosa, but in this case, if I'm doing it wrong, please give me a heads up, but I honestly have no idea. It doesn't specifically say following basic actions, but simultaneously, the action I'm taking when I play Emergency Cash is not a resource action, it is a play action. so I'm pretty sure I'm right, but I could just be wrong. Anyway, we're not drawing cards anymore on Leo. That's not how he gets to fill his turns anymore. Should I have taken a picture of that? I probably should have, but it's too late now. It's retroactive. So I just don't get a picture this round. Sad times. Head and question marks count as 2 icons. Oh, I drew 13th vision, so effectively I have 1 less in all my stats now. Great. I can spend an evidence to make it a 3-3 test. Commit perception and research notes to be up 3, empirical hypothesis to be up 4. So yeah, I commit this to make it a 3-3. I commit 4, 5, 6, 7-3 to beat the bag. Oh no. We're good! Alright, so perception draws me a card to the wrong deck, as always. No, do not discard Daryl's Kodak, that is incorrect. Oh. Wait, no, I got -3. I thought I failed briefly, but I didn't get -4. We're good. I did get Mr. Rook, which is very nice for having infinite soak, being completely safe, and wasting time and not finishing the scenario with 100% probably. Don't really want to play that Mr. Rook. On Leo, I might just move over and double action Daryl's weakness to effectively give him +1 on this test, because he's not up a lot. Yeah, I move and double action on Leo to kill this weakness. That's just all he gets to do this turn. Then over here, I could play Mr. Rook and use him to search for stuff, which would increase my odds of actually succeeding at the test. There should be a practice makes perfect left in my deck that can hit a deduction, putting me at 7-4. I can spend an evidence on empirical hypothesis to make sure that's a pass. Okay, I'll do that. I play Mr. Rook. I use Mr. Rook. I don't believe I have any weaknesses left to hit with it. I don't. Oh, there's not a practice makes perfect left. I'm losing my mind. But there is a lucky left, and it's like basically the same thing for the purpose of how I was planning on using this. And now I'm investigating 6-4. I can just not commit anything and have the lucky in hand be up 2. Don't even need it. And that will get the clue. That will snap photos on these, increasing my stats. I think I passed by 1 just now, which checks out because I wasn't that great number, so I won't be getting anything here, but that's fine. Upkeep phase, deduction in hand, and daring in hand. Those are both great. 14 and 19. Feeling a little bit behind on pace right now. Crypt Chill, do I care? Definitely. Can I do anything about it? I can spend an evidence over here off empirical hypothesis, but that's it. Why do all these Guardian cards just commit for a fist? Where are my secret cards that randomly commit for a head? Lucky is not upgraded, so I can't use it on teammates. It really feels like I should be able to like pass a head test on Leo. But skulls are fails. Enchanted woods are not fails, actually. I do pass on occultist. So it's just skull -3, -4. I've added 3 skulls though, so that's 5 out of 19 before curses. And there are no curses actually, so that's not that bad. Basically a 1 in 4 then to fail. Double check, I've only revealed 2. I've only revealed 2. Get out of here, Crypt Chill. Cool. Over here on Daryl. Daryl's ability is just nuts, right? It's absolutely insane how much value you get out of this. For each point I fail this 3-foot test by, add 1 swarm to the nearest swarming Zoog if there's no such enemies. Draw 1. So if I fail this, I don't think I care even a little bit. I can't get any clues off of the Zoog I'll spawn, unfortunately, but that's fine. If I save Leo time, he just kills the Zoog in 1 action and then moves twice. It's not even saving Leo time. I just take this 3-3. Yeah, oh no, I failed. Quick, let's get the Zoog that has 1 fist. Oh wait, this one's different. When he's defeated, cancel all excess damage and move any of its swarm host cards to a connecting location exhausted. So he takes a while to kill. He's kind of annoying. Is there only 1 inconspicuous Zoog? There's also only 1 ancient Zoog. I'm just gonna take the stealthy Zoog and deal with him now. It just seems easy to do. He's gonna spawn with Leo because Leo has the lowest foot. But the card would still come from Daryl. Not confusing at all. On Leo's turn, I'm going to shoot this man with my 45 Thompson and its millions of bullets. Unsurprisingly, it hits because he has 1 fist and I'm firing at 8. And I'm going to walk twice to the next location of my last 2 actions. After Zoogs enter here the swarming keyword, add an additional swarm to them. Well, a little bit annoying, but probably fine because we dealt with most of the Zoogs already. Daryl is going to just move twice and investigate that with deduction, I believe. There are scarier locations. Yeah, I'm going to save the deduction for a 4-shroud location. I'm just going to move twice and investigate. 7 to 3. That is 5 to 3. I don't actually get my empirical evidence, unfortunately. But that's fine. Upkeep phase gets me a crack the case, gets me a vicious blow. 15 to 19. Running low on time. Lost in the woods. We all test 3-head, and if you fail, you lose an action and take a horror. Well, as previously established, we can't really help very much with that, but we do have these. I can make it a 1-head test, and I'm going to. That way, we're probably not losing it. Actually, wait a second. I don't care if... Hold up. I don't care if you lose an action on Leo. Leo's not important. So Leo can take it straight. He's going to fail. He's going to lose an action and take a horror. Very gross. May as well put the horror on a beat comp, though. And then over here on Daryl, I do care greatly about losing actions. I'm going to make it difficulty 1. And, you know, probably fail anyway. Oh. +1. 2 to 1. Still doesn't get me an empirical hypothesis, actually. But it does get me an evidence back, bringing me back to 7 books, so that's nice. And then that card surges, so it just keeps going. Deeper Slumber. My max hand size is reduced by 3. So, that's fine. I don't need a lot of the cards in my hand. Over here, hidden cards. We have the Law of Yiggorath, Peril hidden, add it to your hand. You cannot play or trigger abilities on player cards with an odd printed resource cost. Yeah, sorry, Mr. Rook, fuck you. I can't play Lucky, but that's really all that's doing. I can't activate Mr. Rook or play Lucky, but on the whole, that's not a big deal. I'm just gonna double move on Leo and check a location out. That's his whole turn. I can't take a picture of something in my hand, can I? I think your hand is not in play. Therefore, since it's not in play, I cannot take a picture of it. Anyway, this has +1 shroud for each card in your hand. Gonna be honest, I might have to breach that door. That's kind of a lot. Over here on Daryl, we're at 7 to 3. That's just fine. I don't need to worry about it. 0, that will get me evidence on 3 cards, because I get the last clue for the Hawkeyes and succeeded by enough for empirical hypothesis. And then I'm going to double move down to where Leo is, because I don't want to double move into a location with a Gug and get my just get my day absolutely ruined. So, upkeep phase. Faustian Bargain's kind of irrelevant. Mr. Rook's kind of irrelevant and actually literally unplayable. 16 of 19. We have 16, 17, 18. 3 turns left for 3 locations. Daryl should be able to manage that. No copies of Shed a Light, all in the bottom 4. Dreamland's Eclipse goes into play. Investigating causes a horror or 2 shroud. Honestly, not the biggest deal. Here you go. And then over here, my hand size is reduced to 5, and honestly, not the biggest deal. If I play Deep Knowledge, I will draw a Shed a Light, at which point I will then discard cards down, reducing the shroud. So I think if I breach this door, I'm probably good. I'm going to play Breach the Door for 2 resources, testing 6 to 1 and reducing the shroud by the amount I succeed by. I'm going to be forced to discard very immediately, so I'm just going to commit these cards immediately. That's only 1, actually, so 7 to 1. I'm willing to commit Overpower as well, 9 to 1, to make sure this works. 3, 6 to 1, pass by 5. The shroud value is -5 right now. So the actual shroud of this is -3 plus hand size. Which is a weird shroud. I'm making the game real complicated. We draw a card off the Overpower, Vault and Blood, discard an ally asset from your play or hand. And, well, I don't have any spare ally assets to throw away, so unfortunately it's going to have to be this injured beat comp. And then over here, the whole point of this was to play Deep Knowledge, add 2, draw 3, get my copies of Shed a Light. My hand size gets checked immediately. Let's imagine I took a stupid picture with the Kodak because I just keep forgetting. There's 2 different cards I could have put it on. I know this one's new, so I'll put it on that one to make sure I'm not cheating. And my hand size getting checked. What do I need for clues? Like, a lot of this is actually clue compression in very direct ways. I definitely don't need Mr. Rook or this, but I'm still up 2 cards. It can be Lucky's. I need Lucky the least, I feel like. Now my hand size is 5, so -3 plus hand size actually does mean the shroud is positive too. So we'll use an evidence from my empirical hypothesis while I investigate this to make the shroud a 0. I play Shadow Light, and it's kind of overkill because there aren't enough clues here to get full Shadow Light value, but welcome to 2-player. Oh, I didn't actually finish Leo's turn. Leo's gonna walk over here, and I don't think I want to go into the next location because I have a 1 in 3 chance of getting gugged. Honestly, I have a lot of health left, it's fine. Hey, I finally got gugged. Hey there, buddy. He's gonna hit for 3 meat, which is, you know, kind of a lot, but I'll be fine. I've got 1 health soak, 2 health soak, 5 health soak. It's fine. It's fine. Oh, he's not even massive. I didn't realize this. Oh, also, something you don't really notice a lot of the time is all the random interconnections that you don't really pay attention to because you zone out when you're playing. Like, these woods are really interconnected, like a lot more than you would think. Yeah, I can go to the top right from down here for some reason. Now, since he's not massive, I can actually just go to Leo's location. What's the condition for winning? Oh, we just spend clues at the Enchanted Path? Like, we can leave right now then, huh? Well, not right now, I do need a few more clues. I'm gonna double move as the last actions on Daryl, it's just the sensible thing to do. Oh, my Kodak gets this because I succeeded on an investigate check, and it works on things that are at no location, like this, which will be in play next to the agenda deck. Speaking of, this was in play, so, I have to take a horror, otherwise it doesn't work. And that's it for us. The Gug attacks 1 horror and 3 damage. Come on, game, you can do this. Honestly, feeling kind of fine after getting hit by that Gug, not a big deal. Upkeep phase, my hand size is reduced by a lot. I don't feel like I need this Hallowed Mirror at all, but I probably need this 45 automatic even less. Over here I get the second Shadow Light, because I mean that's the only option, I can't get anything else. 17 of 19 Doom and Evil cards, we're perfectly fine. That'll teach me to get uppity. Speaking of, I should make sure my numbers are correct over here, they aren't. I'm actually just like perfectly fine to lose an action this turn. So I'll just test this up 1, it's not a big deal. Unfortunately, I do fail, lose an action, take a horror. So thanks to my Hawkeyes, Daryl's going to be at up 1 initially. I spend evidence to be at up 3. And can I commit anything? Hallowed Mirror? Policy Margan's better to be up 4. I feel pretty comfortable with that. It's very important that he doesn't fail. That's -3, we're good. That's a Surge card, by the way. You're forced to spawn here then, because it's the only unrevealed one. He's aloof, he's not doing nothing, it's completely fine. And Obscuring Fog is actually a little bit annoying because I was planning on using Shadow Light here. I still got 2 deductions, so I investigate with deduction. If I fail, I just say that's okay, and I use Look What I Found. But if I do fail, I'm failing by auto-fail, so it's gonna be by 3. So what I need to do, I guess I should snap a picture of this, by the way, with my camera. I'm going to investigate. I'm going to use an evidence off of my Hawkeye to make it a difficulty 1 check, and I'm going to use deduction. And that's -4, so I get 3 to 1. So I don't get evidence here, but I will get this because I get clues. I will get both clues because I committed deduction. Because I cleared the location, I'll get this and that. And this stat line is correct, that's the final stat line. And then I double move to the final location with the Zoog. And this is, when your turn begins, if you're at this location, reveal a random token. Take a damage and lose an action. That should be fine. Even if I lose an action, I can get all the clues in 1 action and then run back. Map's getting to be a bit of a mess. Over here for Leo's turn, he's gonna need to kill a Laboring Gug. If I auto-fail on Daring, I'm gonna get hit for 6, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, exactly enough to kill me, so I cannot use Daring. Fair. I am going to instead attack without Daring at 7 to 5. Oh, those numbers are very high. Is it a problem if Leo dies and gets a physical trauma, though? Like, do I really care? I think I used Thompson Vicious Blow on the first one. And that's gonna put me at 5, 6, 7. I might have been forgetting to use Thompson Bullets at some point. I feel like I must have. But even if I have, I clearly didn't come close to running out. Anyway, it's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to 5. That's going to hit unless I auto-fail. That's fine, he takes 3 of 5 damage. And then I attack again with Daring, and your life's on the line here, Leo, so don't auto-fail. Cool, he's dead. Just casually risking physical trauma for victory that I absolutely don't need, but it's fine. Oh, and this should have been gone a while ago, because we just investigated that. I was busy thinking about dumb stuff with Shadowlight and Deduction. What else? Are we done? Upkeep phase, that Zoog's not doing anything, I take a Horror. Alarmingly close to dead over here, but I did admittedly not play a second Mr. Rook at all, and I've not killed my Expendable Soak Mr. Rook. Probably could have played this safer over here, though. Glad I'm running Mr. Rook, because apparently there's just a lot of horror that I take from Surge cards. Anyway, that's it for us. 18 of 19 Doom, evil cards. Inconspicuous Zoog. It's gonna be here, I guess, because it has to be a connecting location. Oh wait, the connecting locations are crazy. You can be down here. And he is swarming to it, really doesn't matter. And then last card. I take damage up to a maximum of 3, literally cannot die. What does this do? Take a damage and lose an action, which would not kill me either, so we're fine. I just test this 4 to 5, I don't need to waste anything. 0, I fail by 1, take a damage on Rook, and that's it. And then over here at the start of the round, we reveal an icon. It's a skull. I think that's one of the bad ones, so we take a damage and lose an action. Which is very annoying, but we can still finish this, because it's not an action to spend clues, you just have to be at the path. We're going to investigate. If we get auto-fail, we cannot reduce this low enough to use Look What I Found. It just isn't possible. We use Perception, Deduction, spend a charge here. We're at 8, 9, 10, 11 to 5. Auto-fail, victory 2 is lost. But it's not. I get a card, not that it matters, it's the other Shadowlight again. I get both clues. And last action, by the skin of our teeth, I walk back and spend the clues. We spend the 10 we need, and we advance. For the life of me, I cannot remember how I'm supposed to handle the cats. So, it turns out that I played this scenario on hard mode. We did win by the skin of our teeth, but also I should have started the game with Milan or Mr. Rook in play. And Mitch Brown, I guess. Wait, no, Mitch Brown is colorless, funnily enough. But, you know, something. Like, I did play this on hard mode for no reason because I forgot to read this. I think you're supposed to be friends with the cat, so we're gonna let the cats collect their tribute from the Zoogs. I could just be wrong about that, but that's the decision I'll be making. And we can get Randolph Carter, Expert Dreamer, in somebody's deck. Gonna be honest, a named ally taking up a slot that only gives +1 fist, this just looks like a really bad beat comp. So I'm gonna go ahead and pass on putting this in a deck, unfortunately. And we get Victory X, which we're playing Dream Eaters, it's a very large number. These guys are not Victory, but that's Victory 1 and 2, and each of these locations is Victory 2, meaning a full clear of this scenario is 14 Victory, and our decks will look very different next scenario. But for now, I've been Rather Incoherent, this has been the Dream Eaters, this has been episode 1, Beyond the Gates of Sleep, and I'll see you next time with episode 3, The Search for Kada.